Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here. This is episode 3, playing the Great War mod for Hearts of Iron 4. I am the German Empire. If you did not see the first 2 episodes, there's a link in the description below that will take you back to the beginning of episode 1, just to kind of talk through what is happening in the world. The Russians have largely been defeated on the east. They now face Soviet Russia, a civil war that they have to deal with. The Tsar has stepped down, so we now have democratic Russia that is being led by Georgy Lvov, I guess is how you pronounce that. Not familiar with him. Obviously, Vladimir Lenin leads the Bolsheviks in the Communist Revolution. I was told by a viewer, and I haven't played this before, this mod to this extent, so I don't know this for sure. I just know what I was told, and that is that if the Soviets win the Russian Civil War, then you lose all the territory that you gain. So at some point, we're going to have to deal with Russia, the Soviet Russia, and take them out and allow Russia to win that so we can defeat Russia. So it's kind of a complicated situation, but we can't declare war on Soviet Russia until world tension gets to 45%. So unfortunately, we're not there yet. In the meantime, I've got a manpower issue. There is one thing I can do to immediately start dealing with that, and that is to choose reinforce the Kaiser's authority, which I currently cannot do because I'm working on fighter focus. So once fighter focus is done, I can choose reinforce the Kaiser's authority and then get militarism, which is going to bump my recruitable population up to 5%. And then there are other things we can do to further take that, and eventually we could go fascist if we so choose. I don't think we will. I think I'd like to stay with Imperial Germany as long as possible. So we're into 1913. That's where things stand. Really very little happening on the Western Front. We're pretty content to just let that sit. We're kind of doing the reverse Schlieffen plan here. We're taking out the foe in the East so we can go deal with the West. And once we get to 1914, we can start getting better technology. We'll try to start forcing a breakthrough in the West. So I've just finished a research on trench excavation, which allows me to go to level 6 on trenches, which I'm absolutely going to do. We're going to reinforce the entire Western Front to make any kind of attack he might make just absolutely ridiculously stupid until we're ready to turn things on him. Now, of course, that means he's probably just as likely to have his own entrenchments that'll be that tough to break, but I'm not too worried about that right now. You can see everything's up to the level of 1916, so 2.5 years away from being able to research any of those things. Same goes here. Poison gas is 1915. Tank prototype, same thing, super far in advance. We're going to go ahead and, I guess, start researching some air doctrines so we can start getting ahead on those, because they don't have the penalties for years. So that's why I've been working on doctrine pretty well steady. Air doctrine here, land doctrine here. No naval doctrine at the moment, but I did do quite a bit of research on that already. I'm dealing with this little pocket right here that I had in the rear, so that is done. Now we have Petrograd to take, and we have Tsaritsyn to take over here. That's future Stalingrad. Looks like something major may have just happened, because whenever it freezes up like this, that's usually a sign that something major has happened. I don't know if we've defeated Russia. Yes. Oh, no, 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 no. By defeating Russia, the Soviets get everything. Okay. Due to a combination of political instability, defeats in battle, and war weariness, we can no longer stand up to the Central Powers. A peace treaty has been drafted in Brest-Litovsk, which allows us to completely annul our Entente membership and exit the war at the cost of free Finnish, Ukrainian, Caucasian, Baltic, and Belarusian states. So we've unfortunately now allowed the Soviets to take it all. I don't know that there was anything I could have done to stop that, because I couldn't invade the Soviet Union and take them out first. So that's where things now stand. We go back. Everything that we took is lost. We go back to our pre-war borders. Of course, now that means that we've got plenty of manpower to be able to deal with Italy, France, the UK as needed. So I guess for now what we do is we deal with them, and then at some point we'll have to go to war with Soviet Russia, but maybe that's for the next war. That can be our future kind of World War II scenario once we've dealt with the Western powers. Okay, something happened, and I'm not sure what exactly happened, but it looks like the Soviets gave me Poland as well as some further territory here. So maybe that was part of the treaty that we signed with them. So we did, in fact, gain a bunch of territory over here. The United Baltic Duchy now exists. Lithuania now exists. So we've been watching, and it looks like it's freezing up again, which, oh, there, Ukraine just got freed. So the Soviets are giving up some territory here. I guess that's going to probably buy them some goodwill and some time. I am in the process of sending my eastern armies to the west. It's going to take them a while to get there. And the Soviets, as well as other countries, have been offering their divisions to help out with that. We've still got stuff going on down there. It looks like now Austria-Hungary ought to be able to rush their divisions over and deal with this threat down here on their own, because I'm sending everything over here to get ready to go through Belgium and take out France. Okay, a couple of things have happened. We've reinforced the Kaiser's authority. We can now get militarism, which is going to take about 2 months. We are completely out of manpower, so that'll replenish the manpower. We're going to be into the winter soon, so I'm thinking that probably the invasion that's going to take Belgium and France is going to have to wait until spring, but we'll see. You can see right now that these units that I'm getting onto the front lines that have come from the east are far from full strength. So I want to get their strength back up. Once I do that, I think we'll be ready to launch an attack. I want to make sure they're up to full strength. These are units that have fought in the east, and so they've got level 5 experience, a plus 75% modifier in combat, something that his units probably don't have. I'm shifting the units that were already on the west, the Western Theater, these 4 armies here, shifted them down onto the border with France. What used to be the Eastern Invasion, the Eastern Theater is now the Western Invasion Army, or Army Group. We're actually going to putting them all on the border with Belgium. Those are those top-notch veteran troops that are going to be able to break through and win this war for me. So it's November 1913. We've started to see a big manpower boost, even though I haven't even completed militarism yet. And I guess that's just from the fact I'm not producing anything and I'm not taking any casualties at the moment. So you can see where things stand now. It's removed all the casualties, I guess, that I took against the Russians, and now it's mostly against the UK where that's happened. We've got a big manpower bonus. We're having a little trouble down here containing this, though, and I'll probably have to reinforce my Adriatic Theater units at some point. But for now, what I'm seeing here is that my Western invasion force seems to be pretty strong, and they seem to have a pretty good opinion of their ability to do this. So we're going to go ahead and launch the attack. Now, I've told them, no, I guess I'm not being cautious. We're kind of at a balanced manner right now. But anytime we can break through, that's going to overrun their fortifications. And once I break through this first line, it should be pretty much just kind of a run on Paris at that point. So I feel pretty good about what will happen at that point. There's militarism, so now we're going to get a big boost to manpower that I think will really help going forward. Now we've got a decision to make here. I don't want to go down the fascist, oppressed minorities kind of Nazi route. I'm going to go this way and just kind of reinforce what we already have. So we'll go bureaucracy for now. If we can just get this breakthrough. I think once we get to 1914, I'm going to start focusing on air power a little bit. But we're not quite there yet. I still feel like the majority of this can be done with land forces. Well, there's Italy. We had a feeling that would probably happen at some point. Thankfully, it happened after Russia was taken out of the war. But now that Adriatic Theater becomes that much more important. And I did shift one army over from my Western Theater. So I've now only got 72 divisions on the border with France. But that should be enough to hold there, especially with the fortifications that I've got. I don't know why in the world he's got one division attacking 25 who are heavily entrenched, but that's what he's doing. We're still not breaking through in Belgium. I wonder if at some point it might not make sense for me to go ahead and bite the bullet and declare war on Holland. But it looks like I can't really do it right now. We're still at just 41% in terms of world tension, which baffles the heck out of me. But obviously now we've got a new border to deal with, so let's go ahead and get this Adriatic theater force to extend that border a little bit, because now it's going to have to include the border with Italy. That doesn't work. Well, we'll get that dealt with. We're into April of 1914. Here's the situation down on the southern front. We're finally starting to stabilize things a little bit over here. We're just dealing with a couple of pockets of resistance. Looks like the Austro-Hungarians are dealing with that mostly. I've stabilized any attacks that are coming from Italy, and they are attacking kind of all along the line. I'm once again building new units. I've got 4 of these Strassen Panzerwagons going, as well as 5 infantry divisions queued up now that I'm back up to 1.27 million in available manpower. So those are the things that are happening. This fight has been going on, and it stayed right around 80% the whole time. It keeps saying it's going to take another 2 months. I keep winning, but it never really pushes anywhere. So massive casualties happening in that fight, and it doesn't seem to be letting up anytime soon. Manpower, 2.83 million, about the same on the opponent's side. Losses piling up rapidly, though. It's June of 1914. We're just about to the historical start of the war. And what I'm doing now is I'm actually building up. I'm going to max out air bases in both of these frontline territories, because as soon as the research is complete on this Fokker triplane, which is the one that the Red Baron made famous, as it says here, as soon as that's complete, I'm going to start building my air forces. And we're going to take the power of the air and get it on my side. You can see here things go pretty well. They're continuing to progress. I've sent some more units down there. I've now got almost 3 full armies dealing with this. If we can push through here, we can shorten that front line against Italy, and then we can start pushing our 71 divisions forward into Italy. And once we take Italy, and if we can get down to maybe hold them right here, then I can hold an army here to keep them from advancing, and then send the rest of my forces to try and attack through southern France. That might be the way to go, rather than trying in vain to continue this attack here. Well, looks like we've got Russian Civil War once again, so that's broken back out in October of 1914. Carol I of Romania has died. We've got another land doctrine done. So a lot of things happening here. Did I just see that the Russians are sending, so both sides of the Russian Civil War are sending volunteers to help me? That's pretty interesting. We're going to go heavy tank support, because we're pretty soon going to start switching over to a focus on tanks. Once we get to 1915, I think I'll feel pretty comfortable with going ahead and starting to research those early tanks, even though we'll still be a year ahead of time. So as soon as we get these triplanes done, that'll be the next step. Oh, and though it's taken the better part of a year, we are finally about to break through over here. It looks like the French pulled a lot of their divisions down to Italy. And there's the breakthrough at last. Now that we're past his fortifications, this should start to move a lot faster. See, France, I don't know why I can't see anything right now. I think there's a glitch. I can't see any of the enemy units, but a few minutes ago I could see, and there were a ton of French divisions. The entire force up here that was defending is all kind of a conglomeration of Canada, the Anzac forces, British forces, Belgian forces, no French really at all along this line here. So there's the triplanes. We're not going to be able to get this next level for quite a while. Let's go ahead and take a look at armor. We can't get tanks until we do tank prototype, which I think is over here somewhere. Right here. So that's a 1915 technology. We're almost at 1915. We'll start researching those. We're going to get that in about 7 months. And then we'll be able to start researching tanks, getting those into the field, and we'll see what happens. Well, we've just completed the research of mustard gas, which is going to give a 12% breakthrough bonus, a 6% soft attack bonus. Tanks are on the way. Engineering drawing, we're going to go ahead and do that now as well. We've got air superiority everywhere as I'm starting to produce those triplanes and get them into the field. We're just still having a little trouble breaking through here in Bitburg. Once we do that, we'll pretty much have overrun most of his fortifications, I would think. Making some progress down here, finally pushing up. We're going to take Trieste soon. We're going to shorten this front line with the Italians and the French, and hopefully get pushed down into here through 1915, which is what it is now. It's almost into February. Things are actually kind of interesting over here. The Russian Empire, as it is now reconstituted, is actually a fascist government. So you've got fascists against Bolsheviks right now over in Russia. We're continuing to work on airfield expansion, construction effort, things of that nature. I think we'll go another couple of months into this for now, and then we'll probably call it an episode. So as we get into March of 1915, here's the situation. We continue to work on air doctrine. Tank prototypes are about 3 months away. Engineering drawing, here's heavy tank support, which is not going to help right now, but will help eventually. I've now got 3.5 million manpower. Those changes we made have helped tremendously. War support's great. Stability is good. I've got a ton of political PowerPoints. We are slowly making 135 divisions against 20. Combined forces of Italy, Australia, France, Japan, India, Egypt, and Belgium, all involved in that. But eventually we will wear them down. I've suffered nearly 1 million casualties. The Hungarians over 1 million. I cannot believe the Austro-Hungarians can sustain that. They just don't have that kind of manpower. But 3 million losses on the opponent's side. Manpower is about the same on both sides. I have a feeling what we're going to probably have to consider doing is, once again, stopping this attack on the west and shifting those resources down this way and making a push through Italy to attack France from the south. Because we're starting to make progress here now, and we may even, maybe once I save and reload this, I'll be able to see what's going on. But we may even be able to encircle some of these divisions here. So it looks like we're going to make a lot of progress. We'll start pushing into Italy, take Venice. So that's what is all to come in the next episode. For now, we're going to kind of stop where things are. It's a short episode, I know, but a lot is happening, and it takes a long time to record one of these episodes because for every minute of gameplay you're seeing, I'm playing for about 10. So I'm just kind of giving you the highlights as we go along. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Give me your ideas, your strategies, your thoughts. Let's talk about the historic war and what was going on at this time if you'd like. Any and all things, and we'll see you in a couple of days with another episode. Thanks for watching.